Every time you sign a lease for a luxury car you do not strictly need, you are not just buying leather seats and a German-engineered engine. You are selling 6 months of your 55th year back to your boss. You are effectively walking into your HR office and asking to work an extra 2,000 hours in exchange for a depreciating hunk of metal. Most people call this a reward for a promotion. I call it a voluntary extension of your prison sentence. We are going to look at the exact mathematics of how a simple $20,000 lifestyle upgrade can push your retirement date back by a full decade. This is not about being cheap. This is about understanding that money is just stored time, and right now, most of you are being robbed. If you ignore the math we are about to cover, lifestyle creep will eat 40% of your wealth before you even realize you are hungry. By the end of this, you will see exactly why a 6-figure earner can be poorer than a teacher. I have spent years looking at balance sheets, and I have noticed one recurring tragedy. Intelligent, high-earning professionals are trapped in golden handcuffs because they do not understand the concept of walk-away money. This is the ultimate financial safety net, where your portfolio is large enough that you never have to rely on an employer again. It is autonomy in its purest form. If you want the best return on your time today, I recommend watching this all the way through because we are diving into the core mechanics of freedom. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button now if you want to keep your financial compass calibrated. I am Tom, and I read the financial reports so you do not have to. We are starting with the foundational math that determines your freedom date. It is based on a famous piece of research called the Trinity Study, and if you do not know your number, you are just working in the dark. There is a common belief that a high income is the same thing as being wealthy. We see someone making $300,000 a year, and we assume they are on the fast track to the good life. But here is the reality I have seen over and over. Income is just the fuel, but your lifestyle is the hole in the gas tank. If you earn more, but simultaneously expand your life to match that income, you are not actually getting anywhere. You are just running faster on a treadmill that is tilted upward. Society tells us that as we climb the corporate ladder, our cars should get shinier and our zip codes should get more exclusive. This is the great trap. The world wants you to be a high-consumption machine because that keeps the wheels of the economy turning, but it keeps your individual wheels spinning in the mud. We need to stop looking at what we earn and start looking at the gap between what we make and what we spend. That gap is the only thing that actually buys your freedom. To calculate your walk-away money, we use the 4% rule. This comes from the Trinity Study, which analysed decades of market data to find a safe withdrawal rate. The math is beautifully simple. You take your annual expenses and multiply them by 25. That is your target. If you spend $40,000 a year, you need $1 million. If you spend $80,000, you need $2 million. As the experts at the Balance point out, your target number is dictated entirely by your expenses, not your income. This means a physician spending $200,000 a year needs a staggering $5 million before they can walk away. Meanwhile, a librarian spending $30,000 needs less than $800,000. The math does not care about your prestige or your job title. It only cares about the burn rate of your daily life. Every time you add a new recurring expense, you are not just spending that money today, you are raising the bar for your entire future. In 2012, a blogger named Pete Adney, or Mr. Money Mustache, proved that the time it takes to retire is determined by only one factor: your savings rate as a percentage of your take-home pay. If you save 10% of your income, you have to work for about 51 years. If you save 50%, you only have to work for 17. This is a mathematical law. It is shocking because it means your income level is irrelevant to the timeline. A teacher saving half their check will retire decades before a CEO saving 10% of theirs. The psychology here is the real kicker. We are hardwired to think that saving more requires more willpower, but in reality, it just requires less ego. We fail because we use our money to signal status to people we do not even like. We buy the bigger house because we think it makes us look successful, but all it really does is move our retirement date further into the horizon. We are trading our future autonomy for a momentary nod of approval from the neighbours. The protocol here is to define your baseline before the world defines it for you. You need to sit down and figure out what a comfortable, happy life actually costs without the fluff. This is not about deprivation, it is about efficiency. Once you have that number, you lock it in. If you decide you can live a great life on $50,000 a year, then your target is $1.25 million, period. Anything you earn above that spending level should be funneled directly into investments. I have run these numbers for myself, and the clarity it provides is life-changing. You stop seeing a raise as a reason to buy a new watch and start seeing it as a way to shave years off your working life. The goal is to maximize the gap. By keeping your expenses low while your income grows, you are essentially buying back your life at a discount. In the next section, we are going to look at the double penalty that happens when you let that baseline slip. Wait, it actually gets worse. If you think the math we just covered is sobering, you haven't seen the double penalty yet. Most people think that if they spend an extra $1,000 a month, they just have a little less to save. That is only half the damage. You are simultaneously moving the finish line further away while slowing down your pace to reach it. It is like trying to finish a marathon where someone is moving the tape back 5 miles for every mile you run. I am going to show you the exact math of the move, and it is going to make you rethink that subscription or that car payment. If you are starting to see the trap, stick with me, because we are about to look at a simulation that shows why a simple lifestyle upgrade can cost you exactly 12 years of your life. This is the part where most high earners lose the game without even knowing they are playing. Lifestyle creep is insidious because it is always justified. You tell yourself that you have worked hard and you deserve a nicer apartment. You tell yourself that a more expensive gym membership is an investment in your health. These justifications are the bricks in the wall of your future prison. According to Investopedia, lifestyle creep happens incrementally. It is the slow normalization of luxuries until they become necessities. You start flying business class once, and suddenly economy feels like a punishment. You get the premium cable package, and you forget how to live without it. This normalization is a physiological trap. Your brain adapts to the new level of comfort, and the dopamine spike disappears, leaving you with a higher monthly bill and no additional happiness. We call this the hedonic treadmill. You are running faster and spending more just to maintain the same level of satisfaction. But while your happiness stays flat, your financial health is taking a massive hit from 2 different directions at the same time. This is where the math gets brutal. Let's look at the hard numbers. When you increase your spending, you trigger penalty 1. Your monthly savings decrease. Every dollar spent on a luxury is a dollar that cannot compound in the S&P 500. But penalty 2 is the silent killer. Your target walkaway number increases. Remember the 25 times rule. For every $1,000 you permanently add to your annual spending, you must save an additional $25,000 in your portfolio to support it. If you lease a car that costs $800 a month, that is nearly $10,000 a year. That single car doesn't just cost you the monthly payment. To sustain that lifestyle into retirement, you now need to save an extra $250,000. Let that sink in. A car payment requires $250,000 of additional capital to be retired. You are effectively adding years of work to your life just to drive a certain brand. This is the math that the car dealerships and the banks never want you to see. You are trading a massive chunk of your net worth for a smell and some heated seats. Why do we do this? Morningstar's behavioral research shows that social comparison is the primary driver of wealth destruction. As your income rises, your peer group changes. Suddenly, the people you work with are taking trips to the Maldives and wearing $6,000 watches. We are biologically hardwired to measure our status against those around us. If you are the only one in the office driving a 10-year-old Toyota, you feel like you are failing, even if your bank account is screaming otherwise. This is why many doctors and lawyers have a negative net worth. They are trapped in a high-consumption arms race. They spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't even like. This is the ultimate opportunity cost. You are trading non-renewable time for depreciating assets. The irony is that the people you are trying to impress are usually too busy worrying about their own status to even notice yours. You are sacrificing your freedom for a ghost. Breaking this psychological cycle is the first step toward walking away. The solution I use is the 50% raise rule. It is the single most effective way to combat creep without feeling like a monk. Whenever you get a raise or a bonus, you immediately commit half of that new money to your investments. The other half is yours to spend guilt-free. If you get a $10,000 raise, $5,000 goes to your brokerage account and $5,000 goes to your lifestyle. This ensures that your standard of living improves, but your savings rate also increases at the same time. You are still enjoying your success, but you are not letting it hijack your future. By doing this, you avoid the trap of absorbing 100% of your new income into your bills. It creates a system where you win no matter what. You get the nicer dinners and the better vacations, but you also get closer to your freedom date every single year. It is about intentionality. You are choosing to value your future self just as much as your current self. Let's run a simulation to see this in action. Meet Alex. He is 30 years old, earns $100,000 after taxes, and has $0 saved. In scenario A, Alex is disciplined. He lives a comfortable life on $50,000 a year and saves the other $50,000. He invests that money in a low-cost index fund with a 7% return, which is the historical average Vanguard cites for the market. His target FIRE number is $1.25 million. Using standard compound interest, Alex hits his goal in exactly 15 years. By age 45, Alex is done. He can walk away from any job, move anywhere he wants, and never worry about a paycheck again. He spent his 30s and early 40s being mindful, and now he has the next 40 years of his life entirely to himself. This is the power of a 50% savings rate. It is a 15-year path to total autonomy. But now, let's look at what happens in scenario B, where Alex decides to live a little. In scenario B, Alex gets a taste for the finer things. He moves into a luxury apartment and leases a fast car. His annual spending jumps from $50,000 to $75,000. He is still saving $25,000 a year, which most people would say is great. But look at the math. Because he spends $75,000, his new target is $1.875 million. He needs more money, but he has less fuel to get there. He is saving half as much as he was before, and his finish line is $600,000 further away. Under the same 7% return, it doesn't take him 20 years to hit that goal, it takes him 27. By choosing to spend that extra $25,000 a year, Alex has added 12 years of work to his life. He will spend his entire 40s and most of his 50s sitting in an office just to pay for a slightly larger kitchen and a car that will be in a junkyard before he even retires. This is the 12-year penalty. Most people stop here and think, well, 12 years isn't that bad if I enjoy the ride. But they are missing a massive risk. A bloated lifestyle doesn't just cost you time, it makes your entire financial life fragile. If you have high fixed costs, you are one bad market year away from total disaster. We are about to look at something called sequence of returns risk. It is the technical reason why a lean lifestyle is like an armor-plated tank, while a luxury lifestyle is like a house of cards. If you think your million-dollar portfolio is safe, wait until you see what happens if the market drops while you have a $5,000 mortgage. Before we get into that, I want to invite you to join the Optimizers. It is our channel membership where you can get custom badges and priority when I'm answering your questions in the comments. It is for people who take this math seriously. Now, let's look at why your big house might be your biggest liability. The traditional advice is to buy as much house as the bank will allow. Lenders often say you can afford a mortgage that is 30% of your gross income. But from a FIRE perspective, this is financial suicide. As Fidelity points out, housing is the largest single expense for most people, and it is the most common source of lifestyle creep. When you upgrade to a forever home, the mortgage is just the beginning. You are signing up for higher property taxes, higher insurance, and massive maintenance costs. The rule of thumb is that maintenance costs 1 to 2% of the home's value every year. A $700,000 home will cost you $10,000 a year just to keep it from falling apart. That is $10,000 that isn't being invested. It is money that is literally disappearing into roof repairs and lawn care. Every extra bedroom you don't use is a liability that is eating your walkaway money. A lean home is the foundation of a fast retirement. A bloated home is a set of golden handcuffs that you can never take off. Data from the Federal Reserve shows that the average new car payment has surged past $700 a month. Cars are the ultimate wealth killer because they are rapidly depreciating liabilities. You are borrowing money to buy an asset that will be worth half its value in a few years. If you consistently carry an $800 car payment, you are adding $240,000 to your required retirement fund. But you also lose the opportunity cost. If you invested that $800 a month at a 7% return over 10 years, you would have over $138,000. Instead, after 10 years of car payments, you have a used car worth $10,000 and a hole in your net worth. The math is clear. Buy reliable used vehicles in cash and drive them until the wheels fall off. It is the least sexy financial advice in the world, but it is the fastest way to buy back your time. Your future self doesn't care what you drove in 2024. Once you actually walk away, a bloated lifestyle becomes even more dangerous. Morningstar warns about sequence of returns risk. If the market crashes 30% in the first 2 years of your retirement, you are in trouble if your expenses are high. If you need $150,000 a year to support your lifestyle, you are forced to sell your stocks at the absolute bottom of a crash just to pay your bills. This can decimate your portfolio so badly that it never recovers. However, if you have a lean $50,000 lifestyle, you have immense flexibility. You can skip a vacation or eat out less to reduce your withdrawals during a bad year. You can wait for the market to bounce back. A lean lifestyle is anti-fragile. It survives shocks that would destroy a high-consumption retiree. This is the secret to a stress-free life. It is not about having the most money, it is about having the lowest requirements. When you don't need much to be happy, you are truly invincible. You become the master of your own timeline, regardless of what the economy does. The goal of financial literacy is not to die with a giant pile of money. It is to buy back your freedom while you are still young enough to enjoy it. Walk-away money allows you to work because you want to, not because you have to. It gives you the power to walk away from a toxic boss, to spend time with your family, or to pursue a passion that doesn't pay well. Every time you choose to upgrade your lifestyle, you are selling that power back to the world. You are tightening the golden handcuffs. I want you to start calculating the time cost of every purchase. If your net pay is $40 an hour, a $1,200 phone isn't $1,200. It is 30 hours of your life. A $60,000 car is 1,500 hours. When you see the price tag in hours instead of dollars, the allure of luxury starts to fade. You start to realize that the most valuable asset you will ever own is your own time. Keep your baseline low, invest the difference relentlessly, and go get your life back. I want to see your thoughts in the comments for our peer review today. I've run the numbers, but I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt the weight of lifestyle creep after a raise? Or maybe you have successfully avoided it and seen your freedom date move closer. Drop a comment below with your story. I'm gathering data for our next deep dive, and your real-world experience is the best peer review we have. If you found this math helpful, share it with one friend who is currently eyeing a new car lease. You might just save them a decade of work. Don't forget to join the Optimizers if you want to support the channel and get that priority access. I'll be in the comments answering the most interesting questions. I'm Tom, this is Tom Talks Money, and I'll see you in the next one.